Welcome folks to my picks and analysis for FIFA Men's World Cup Qatar 2022 Group E, a group featuring Germany, Spain, Costa Rica and Japan. I'll give my views on who will go through and some analysis on each of the four teams. Let's get underway with a look at Germany. Germany, undoubtedly one of the strongest teams in World Cup history, and they're back again for another tilt. Champions 1954, 1974, 1990, and of course in 2014 in Brazil. Didn't have the best time of it as defending champions in 2018, a group exit. They went in as champions and went out somewhat embarrassed. Who could forget the final group game against South Korea? I remember watching Manuel Neuer deep in the Korean half being dispossessed by Son Heung-min, and who subsequently scored a goal at the other end of the pitch. I thought, what a way for a World Cup career to end. But he's back. Manuel Neuer's back in the side and likely to be between the sticks in Germany's first group game against Japan. He's one of 7 Bayern Munich players in the Germany squad. In fact, there are 12 players from just 2 teams, Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. Thomas Müller among them, and interesting, of all the players at this World Cup, he has the most World Cup goals on 10. Unknown whether he can increase that tally in this tournament. Ex-Man City Leroy Sané also in the Germany squad. Premier League fans will be familiar with Manchester City midfielder Ilkay Gundogan and the misfiring Chelsea striker Kai Havertz. They're also in the Germany squad. Had a pretty comfortable qualifying phase in the end. It was a bit dicey initially with a couple of suspect results, but they got through pretty strongly in the end in a group which included North Macedonia, Romania and Iceland. Germany actually scored the second most goals in European qualifying, 36, second only to England. So pretty strong. 10 matches since then, nothing of note, just the one loss to Hungary, who seem to have beaten a lot of teams leading up to this tournament, even though they're not in it themselves. Hansi Flick's men, how will they do? Well, there is the old adage that Germany might be scratchy going into any tournament, but they'll put it all together once the tournament gets underway. That didn't work last time, and Hansi Flick may well get the flick himself if Germany don't rectify what happened in the last World Cup. So tremendous pressure on the German side. They're facing Japan, first up, a team that knows them very well. Big test coming later against Spain. They also have Costa Rica. Will Germany go through? Can they top their group? Can they right the wrongs of 2018? We'll see a bit later. On to Japan, who line up for their 7th appearance at the World Cup. In fact, it's their 7th consecutive appearance. They've never missed a tournament since first qualifying in 1998. Best performance of the round of 16, which they've managed 3 times, 2002 when they hosted, 2010 and 2018. And here's a spot quiz for the viewers. Of the 26-player roster, Japan's roster, which league, domestic league worldwide, is the source for the most players? It's not the J-League. It's not Australia's A-League. Not the Premier League. It's the Bundesliga. Yeah, 8 players of 26 play in Germany. That's very interesting because they have Germany as their first opponents in this Group E. So they'll know each other's games pretty well. Bit of extra spice in that first encounter and some inside knowledge. Among the Bundesliga contingent in the Japanese side, captain Maya Yoshida, ex-Southampton defender, and also Daichi Kamada, the Eintracht Frankfurt midfielder. The Premier League fans will be familiar with Takahiro Tomiyasu, Arsenal defender, very decent player, and Kaoru Mitoma, hitting top form for Brighton at just the right time. So Japan looking in pretty good shape form-wise. Fans of Scottish football will be scratching their heads looking at this Japanese squad. No room for Kyogo Furuhashi despite prolific goal scoring record with Celtic, 22 goals in 33 appearances, overlooked as Japan chooses to only take 4 strikers, maybe indicative of their tactics in the groups. Scottish fans also a little bit confused by the continued selection of Eiji Kawashima at 39, reserve goalkeeper, after his disastrous, calamitous spell with Dundee United before the last World Cup. And they will remember the expression Kawashima clanger, hoping for Japan's sake no repeats at this World Cup. So a bit confusing for the Scottish football fans there. Japan had a pretty good qualifying phase. They finished second to Saudi Arabia, but pretty comfortable in the end. They've been busy since then, 10 fixtures in fact, with impressive wins over USA, Ghana and South Korea. A couple of losses as well to Brazil, Tunisia, and then their reserve side losing to Canada in the lead up to the World Cup. How will Japan do? Pretty stable at the back, Japan. Organised defence, organised in midfield. They always play 4 at the back. They tend to mix up the formation going forward depending on the opposition. So I suggest we'll see very different attacking tactics against Germany and then Costa Rica in the later fixture, which they'll be targeting for points. Let's see how Japan do. Best of luck to them, and my predictions later in the video. On to Spain, and as with all of the past 5 or 6 World Cups, Luis Enrique's men are among the favourites. Champions in 2010. In 2018, they went out on penalties to Russia in the round of 16. Spain cruised through qualifying, topping a group which included Sweden and Greece, looking pretty good going into the World Cup, unbeaten in their last 11 run-outs. Their last defeat over a year ago to France in the Nations League final. Just looking at Spain, change of manager, change of personnel. The tactics remain the same, the formula remains the same. Possession-based dominance in midfield, starving the opposition of the ball, choosing the right moments to go forward, exploiting dead ball situations. Other teams know exactly what Spain are going to do, but they're still powerless to stop them. Such is their dominance. Very strong team from top to bottom. Familiar names in the Spanish lineup, well, all of them. They're all familiar. Premier League fans, English Premier League fans, Cesar Azpilicueta, the Chelsea defender, and the Man City duo of Rodri and Laporte will be of interest. Weaknesses and concerns in the Spanish lineup, well, they're not a lot. There are not many. Top scorer Ferran Torres a bit short on game time with Barcelona, and Alvaro Morata, former Chelsea striker, a little bit inconsistent, but you really have to dive deep into the tea leaves to find anything wrong with this Spain squad. They're looking very, very strong. How will they do? Well, as I mentioned, they're always one of the favourites, and this tournament's no different. How far will they go? Can they top the group? My predictions a bit later. Costa Rica qualified for this World Cup through the playoffs, beating New Zealand in the Inter-Confederation playoff. This will be their 6th appearance at the tournament, with the best result of the quarterfinals back in 2014. Last World Cup 2018, they went out in the group stages. 3 games since securing qualification, just the 3. They've kept things rather low key. Wins over Uzbekistan and Nigeria, a draw with fellow qualifiers South Korea. So not much to report there, but they are at least unbeaten. The most famous player in the Costa Rica squad, Keylor Navas, the PSG goalkeeper, one of the top goalkeepers in the world in the past 10 years and at the moment. And it's very important to have a goalkeeper of his calibre looking at the group they're in with Spain, Germany and Japan. So expect their goal to be peppered with shots from game 1. English Premier League fans may remember not so fondly, particularly Arsenal fans, Joel Campbell. He is in the Costa Rica squad for this tournament. Interesting to see will be new Nottingham Forest signing Brendan Aguilera. He's likely to start as well. How will Costa Rica do? Well, it's something of a free hit. They didn't expect to be here a year ago. Things were looking a bit dicey in qualifying. But here they are. It's almost like a free hit with Germany, Spain and Japan. Confidence starting to grow that Costa Rica can actually do something and pull off a shock or two in this tournament. Spain first up. That'll be a big match. Matches later against Germany and Japan. They'll be looking to take points off one of those two. Let's see how Costa Rica do, and predictions later. So our final look at Group E, Spain, Costa Rica, Germany and Japan. I'm going to go for Spain to top the group, with Germany just edging Japan into second. Well, that wraps up our look at Group E. Very interesting group. Germany, Spain, Japan and Costa Rica. Who will go through? Be very exciting to watch. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.